Peace out there. This is the Real HD Show. Glad you can make it. This is the only place, or these or any other airwaves, where you're going to hear the good, the bad, the ugly within our culture. But we heal it with what? We heal it with what? We heal it with what? Freedom music. Freedom music happens 7:30 to 8 o'clock. You just push, copy, paste the letters down below into your upper address bar. I see you, you see me. We meet backstage and we vibe off all that good, good music to make your soul feel good. We got conscious hip hop, we got neo soul, we got old school, we got that Mayfield, you know what I mean? We got them Dells, we got that Aretha Franklin rock steady. We got all that popping, man. So come check us out early. Yeah, come check us out early. You got to type in StreamYard.com, V77EDCXYI7, and you too can rock out with us backstage as we get ready for the show. And you can make your requests. I'm DJ at that time. So not only am I prepping, but I'm DJing at the same time. Love to have you, brothers and sisters, here this evening. I'm glad you could be here on a hump day. I know there's a lot going on. School's about to get back in session. All that good. And hopefully it's good. And you chose to rock out with the Real HD Show. So I appreciate you, yo. And we won't disappoint. Like, share, subscribe. Turn on all your notifications. Comment and share. And of course, TON, turn on your notifications so that every time we have another Real HD episode, you too can join us and we can have a higher discussion. That's what HD stands for, higher discussion. I love you, hopefully, and I love your participation. Hopefully, you show it with some reciprocity by getting involved with the show. Of course, as you know, bills to pay, total package energy. People tested Olympic, people approved, Melanated Company. They're not Gatorade, they're not Red Bull, all natural product. Waters, gels, zips, teas, juices to get that 3 to 5 o'clock crash off your behind before it costs you money. And also, folks may have a second half of their day. So you want to make sure the second half of your day is powered. Check out Total Package Energy. Also, redeem vacations. That's right. Redeem vacations in the Real HD Show. So they want you to bring 5 of your people to the Real HD Show or any of the Real HD Show broadcast shows. And they are many. They are many. Right now, we have about 6 in circulation, Sipping After Dark, and the Big Al's Breakdown are on their way. So we want you to bring 5 people to any of those shows. The Real HD Show, Simply Supreme, Broadcast Beats, Big House Breakdown, Sipping After Dark, any of the Real HD shows, and you will get a 4-day, 3-night stay at a destination near you, whether it be in America or in the Caribbean. Let us know. We are the Real HD Show. And we appreciate you coming through and showing us who is in the building. We are rocking. We are blasting off to 5 Facebook channels: YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Mob Crush, D-Lab, Trovo Nation. We're everywhere you want to be. We are the Real HD. Just share this and get people in there. So if you're a panelist on the Real HD Show, shout out to the Real HD Show chat, by the way. If you're a panelist on the Real HD show, because you were in the chat and you ready, you primed up, you lathered up, you waited all day to talk about a specific point that you read in the news or what have you, you too can join us right down below. StreamYard.com, V77, EDCXYI. That's an I before the 7, lowercase I. You know what I mean? Third eye. You know what I mean? So let's get that in. Let's get that in with a grin. We are the Real HD show. There's a lot of HDs out there. There's a lot of real shows out there. None like the Real HD show. They just do not get as deep as we do. Talking to all my Moors and Hebrews. You know what I'm saying? All right, so we're going to move it. We're going to keep it moving. Hopefully you can call all those who in the conscious community, in the conscientious community, in the community of freedom, justice, and liberation. And you two guys can come through and have a higher discussion with myself. We got a lot going on. We are here for this tonight. INFO-DEMIC. So you heard of a pandemic and you heard of an epidemic. I just came across this word, INFO-DEMIC. Whoa. What in the world could that be? Well, stay tuned to find out on the Real HD show tonight. We'll get to it. But before we do, we have to get to our regular pieces, and those are our segments. So while we wait for all our beautiful, beautiful people to tap on in, we want you to tap in too and check out our segments. Our first segment is our Elders and Ancestors Blueprint. Why? Because we're standing on the shoulders of greatness, people. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me. If I'm good, let me know. Because I'm kind of doing something different tonight. I'm on a different, I guess what you would call format. I'm rocking on Firefox because Chrome was acting up. You know how Chrome do every once in a while. Give you the crazies as you're trying to get things done. I was wondering if CrowdStrike hit. I was like, damn, why I can't do my thing on Google Chrome? What's the deal? There's another CrowdStrike thing. What's popping? Anyway, so we here. We doing our Ancestors and Elders Blueprint. And William Cuffey. Who was he? Why was he important? We are going to talk about that. We're going to show a video first, and then we're going to come back on the other side and chop it up about the greatness of Brother William Cuffey and what he meant to our struggle, our freedom, and our liberation as a people. And let's just get right to it. Fair use, fair use. Remembering William Cuffey right here on The Real HD Show. Ancestors moment. Here we go. All right, I'll start that over real quick so that everybody can hear it. Here we go. All right, I'll do it like this because I didn't realize that there was a sound issue with this particular video. So we will rock it either way. Born in 1788, Medway, William was the son of a former slave. Let me go back. Let me embolden it a bit, and then we can rock out. All right, here we go. William was the son of a former slave, was a leading figure in the Cartist movement, and was mass popular political movement in Britain. William worked as a tailor in London when he became part of the Cartist movement. He went on strike with his fellow tailors in 1834. The strike collapsed. Cuffey was sacked and subsequently blacklisted from employment. And that's big for someone who is a tailor. You know, you want to be employed. You want people to buy your wares and, you know, support you. And in those days, actually, making suits for the wealthy and the rich was kind of the way that you made your money back then, right? So let's find out what's else is going on with the brother. Here we go. In 1839, Cuffey helped to form the Metropolis Tailors Charter Association. So that, you know, he basically tried to galvanize tailors in the UK at that point. In the summer of 1848, William became involved in a conspiracy to lead an armed uprising against the British government. Not the British government, not the crown jewels. What the hell? Right? Based on the evidence of a government spy, Cuffey was arrested and convicted for preparing to set fire to certain buildings as a signal for uprising. You know what I mean? Queen Mary Ann in Canada. You know what I mean? That's riding on that coattail too. Here we go. Moving on. He was sentenced to be transported to Tasmania for 21 years. You know what I'm saying? Fighting for himself, fighting for his people. He was pardoned 3 years after his conviction. Cuffey elected to stay in Tasmania, working as a tailor and involving himself in local politics. He continued to organize and agitate for democratic rights in Tasmania. He died in 1870 at the age of 82. Long life, you know what I mean? Really long life. Hope I make it there myself one day, you know what I mean? His lifelong political activism remains an inspiration to those who believe in workers' rights, human rights, and democracy. Let's see what else is popping. And that's Brother William Cuffey, ancestor for the ages. His story, and it doesn't always have to be, he's part of the diaspora, so you know he get to ride, so that's cool. And we get to feature him, you know what I mean? He's a brother nonetheless, and his story is very reminiscent and reminds us that we can do up ye mighty race, do what ye will. You know what I mean? On his Marcus Garvey, you know, way before Marcus Garvey. You know what I mean? Hey, peace, Godspeed. What's the deal, brother man?
All right, brother man. Hey, Vic, how you doing?
I'm doing well, man. Good to hear you. Good to hear your voice, man. Feeling all right? Everything great? Everything okay on in your area of the woods?
Hanging in, maintaining.
Yes, sir. Yeah, Nah, I hear you, brother. Ain't nothing else but to do that and
Yeah.
progress when the opportunity presents itself. We're talking about Brother William Cuffey out of
Hmm.
England
Okay.
and how he was a political writer, activist, fought for the rights of brothers and sisters, not only in his neck of the woods but all over the world, galvanized tailors
Hmm.
in England during the time when the Industrial Revolution was coming to an end. So I'm pretty sure that brother made a nice little chunk of change, but the powers that be wanted to, I guess, blackball him because he was a get up, stand up dude. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And he had to move. He moved to Tasmania as a relocation, uh, and I guess a prison term that he served over that uprising that he caused, and he remained out there fighting for rights, fighting for our folk, and putting
Hmm.
it in. You familiar with Brother William Cuffey?
No, this is my first time hearing about the brother.
Yeah, good brother, man. And we need people with his type of skills. We need tailors. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So we can
Absolutely.
get off this consumer plantation that we be on. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
You
Indeed.
know what I'm
And
saying?
we
So
got we got we got some young, designers out there doing their thing too. Well, because
yeah,
you actually promote a lot of them like on your show
yeah,
from time to
man.
time, like you're doing with William Cuffey right now.
Yes, sir. Yeah, shout out to Ram Omar, man. Go support Ram Omar, man. I'm not sure
Mm.
if he's still out of New York or where he's at right now or what his wares are doing, but they super unique. He's on Instagram. Everybody out there within the sound of my voice, go check out Ram Omar. Yo
Mm-hmm.
lady will thank you.
Mm. Is that the brother who the Trump party stole a sneaker from?
You know what? I think so. Cause he's the one that had the shiny.
The
He
gold
did the
sneakers and stuff.
redesign for the ups. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Yeah, and
remember you put me on
he
to that.
put like the gold touch on him and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
He had the
Mm-hmm.
gold on red or the gold on green or the gold on red on green. So many dope styles and dope uh delineations of his fashions. Go check him out. He's been on Paris runways. That brother is organic, makes it all himself in house. Go check out Ram Omar. In the spirit of Brother William Cuffey, you will not be disappointed. Um, we are going to move on because we don't have a whole lot of time and we got a lot to get to. We here for this tonight. Hey, brother, did you know we was in an infodemic?
INFO-DEMIC. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, man. You heard of the pandemic and
Yeah.
you heard of epidemics,
Yes.
but I just recently came across this word called the infodemic.
INFO-DEMIC. Wow.
Yeah,
That's a new
yeah.
one for me.
Me too. So I said, I got to bring it to the people. I got to let the people
Yeah,
talk
that's
about it.
a new one. That's a new one for me. That's a new
Yeah.
one.
So here we go. We got disinformation,
Uh-huh.
misinformation,
Uh-huh.
Operation Mockingbird, and
Uh-huh.
historical lies and mistruths.
Uh-oh.
I put that in there just as a little stir the pot piece. You know what I mean? So
Uh-huh.
that's what we here for tonight. We here to talk about that because I was sparked by a story of the dude who's running for vice president right now, Tim Walz.
Yes,
And
I
what?
heard of him.
Yeah,
I've been hearing about him a little tiny bit. I haven't gotten knee deep into it, but let me be educated. Go ahead.
yeah, man. He's a political official out of Minnesota,
Uh-huh.
chosen by Kamala Harris to be her VP. He accepted, and he, all of a sudden got disease of the mouth, or so we think.
Mm-hmm.
He might just be following orders. We don't know. That's what we here to talk about tonight.
Mm-hmm.
He made a claim that misinformation and disinformation and hate speech well, you know what, let me not even say it wrong. Let me get the quote up right now.
Mm-hmm.
um what did he say? Well, in a nutshell, I'll have it up in a minute, but in a nutshell, what he was saying was, they're gonna start persecuting and, you know, jacking people up for what they interpret, what the government interprets as misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech.
Whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa, 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 whoa. So
right.
if they don't make their first stop down south for all those rednecks, those rebel racist rednecks, because you got two types of rednecks, as I always say. But those rebel racist rednecks with their nonsense, then he shouldn't even start driving that vehicle because his first stop got to be down there. He ain't doing that. He ain't doing a goddamn thing.
Yeah, like that needs to be the very first stop.
Very first stop. If he
Yes,
about
sir.
that life.
Yes, sir. Okay, so here it is. Here's the quote. This is VP candidate Tim Walz. I call him Tampon Timmy. I'll tell you why in a minute. Um, VP candidate Tampon Timmy Walz says, quote, there's no guarantee to free speech if misinformation, hate speech, or disinformation, especially around our democracy. So that's a dog whistle to me that says basically we're going to be curtailing free speech. We're going to be putting the kibosh on certain types of speech. And if the government doesn't deem it, whatever you said, satisfactory,
yeah,
then they have the right to persecute you to the fullest extent of the law. And this is interesting.
That's what he would like to roll out. Yeah, that's anti-constitutional.
Correct.
I ain't down for lies and all this stuff that they're building the criteria for this to be. The criteria that he's building, I understand where he's coming from, but he got to show and prove that what that person's saying is absolutely wrong. You know what I mean? Or is it gonna have people? What are they gonna do? Have the average individual running out the country like a Snowden,
right?
Or Cooper, or what? They're gonna Cooper him? Like, come on. They're gonna William Cooper him? Pale horse? I mean,
here we go.
What's that about?
Well, I don't want to give away too much
guys like
for
him,
the
guys like him can't crush a grape in a fruit fight.
No doubt. Yeah, you know what I mean? So we're gonna talk about Tampon Timmy in a minute. And we're gonna talk about why Tampon Timmy is a thing and what exactly is he talking about in terms of this misinformation, disinformation, INFO-DEMIC of it all. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, we're gonna get to it. But before we do that, let's jump right into our AAT segment. Healthy, wealthy, and wiser for a brand new you. Because we need cell power. A lot of folks were robbed of loved ones, robbed of health, wealth themselves, and need to be better equipped for it. Last time we were talking about, let me see if I can get this right. Okay. So we're talking about the INFO-DEMIC now, right? Where what I just came across recently, well, I'll let you guys be the decider. What I just came across recently can indicate another demic is on the rise. Let's check this out, Real HD Show. And you guys tell me in the chat. We got mad people watching already. Give thanks, and let's go to it so that we can be aware as we can be about what's out here and also what's back on the horizon that we thought we left 2-3 years ago. Here we go, Real HD Show. Check it out. Fair use.
of Disease Control and Prevention have declared Mpox, or monkeypox, a public health emergency of continental security. It is a noteworthy step for two reasons. First, it reflects the rising level of alarm that exists over a new variant of Mpox. This variant, Clade 1b, seems to have spread through more routine close contact, particularly among children, and is killing more. It does not help that it's spreading in the border region of the Democratic Republic of Congo, where it's hard for public health to operate. The second reason this step is notable is it's the first time the Africa CDC has invoked its new mandate to declare a regional emergency, and has done so just days before the World Health Organization have declared a global emergency. Now, this reflects the concern on behalf of the Africa CDC that in previous emergencies, including over Mpox, it did not receive the same priority. We'll see if this latest declaration gets Africa CDC the vaccines it needs to get this outbreak of this dangerous new variant of Mpox under control.
All right, so there you have it. They declare a global health emergency over smallpox in the denser regions of the motherland, or what some people consider the motherland. And have we seen this play before, bro?
You know what? I'm so sorry. Somebody was hitting me a text about trying to get onto the show. The link
that's cool.
is giving them trouble. So I'm gonna see if I can find the link and text it back to them. Pardon me.
Well, the link is right here. StreamYard.com V77 EDCXYI7.
Yep, that's the one that worked for me too. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna just try to cut and paste, send it to them real quick.
Yeah, do that. I'm waiting for whoever want to come up. Please, this is your opportunity to do so. We're talking about the smallpox epidemic, or the epidemic that they're trying to say it is. And then, of course, we know melanated areas are always testing grounds for anybody's pathogens, anybody's experimental whatever. They go to melanated populations all over the globe and test this stuff. So we don't know where this stuff is coming from. You know, we don't know if this is legit. We don't know if it's not legit. We want people to be vigilant. We want you to get the help that you do need if you do, in fact, have smallpox. But we want to make sure that we're not, falling for the okie doke once again. And then, of course, it's in the middle of the most melanated region on the planet. And then, of course, these things tend to pop off there suspiciously more than other areas. Say what you want, twist it how you wish. That's how things pop off. Check the history. We don't have to go back to Tuskegee. I mean, Medicaid did a number on us. Marion Sims and his, they call him the father of gynecology, and what he's done to our sisters in the name of quote unquote pseudoscience. And then, of course, eugenics. All of that was medicine, science perverting medicine, medicine perverting science with the international flair. You know what I mean? And we've had many, 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 many traverses with medical misinformation or medical infodemics, as it were. You know what I mean? So we're going to get to this. We're going to rock out. And last show, we were talking about cyber financial health. And health is health. No matter how you slice it, no matter where you put it, health is health. So in honor of that, I want to talk about a particular item in terms of cyber financial health, because, of course, everybody's moving to, not everyone, but most governments who are involved in the globalism of it all, the WEF of it all, is moving towards some sort of digital dollar, right? And within moving toward this digital dollar, we have to be very, very vigilant about how we're spending, what we're spending, and what we're spending on. And let me see if I can pull it up. I'll pull it up for us as we are matriculating along. Let's see. Trying to get this down so I can see what I labeled it. Because I did label it something. Okay, dumb money. I labeled it dumb money. Here we go. So first I want to pull it up, and then I'll pull up the article, and then we can talk a bit about it. Oh no, I'm in the wrong joint. Okay, let me get back out. Let me get to. Did I select it that way? I needed to hit that way. Yep. Sorry, folks. I'm operating on another instrument tonight because Google Chrome was giving me heart attacks earlier today as I was preparing, not letting me do my thing. So I just switched to Firefox. We will be here. Okay, so here we go. We're in the middle of an AAT Healthy, Wealthy, and Wiser report. And the 21 dumbest things we spend too much money on. Let's see, 21. Okay. And this is out of this is kind of all over the place. Wallet Jump. This is out of Wallet Jump, actually. That's the name of the site that it's on. And you can go and check out Wallet Jump yourself and get this list as well. I'm gonna jump right into it. So the 21 dumbest things we spend money, we spend too much money on. Hint, coffee isn't one of them. This is coming out August 28th of this year. Online shopping. Stop overpaying on Amazon. Wow. You know, everybody thinks Amazon gives you the cut deal on everything. You know what I mean? And you'll find out if you do the knowledge to it, if you do the research to it, that you can get better prices all over, right? Here's a quick example: buying AirPods, but this tool was found at $114.55, cheaper somewhere else, and yes, it got here fast. That is someone who beat the Amazon price for a pair of Apple AirPods. Another one is auto car insurance. Cut your payments by $400 a year. Right? So that's another one we're spending too much money on. I don't think anybody has to, I don't think anybody needs a sky balloon to tell them that. Lottery tickets. Do we spend too much money on grandmama getting her daily picks for that gamble of one day it paying off? Number 4, spending a lot of signing up for multiple online subscriptions. That's another one. And medical prescriptions. That's another one we spend way too much money on. Car repairs. Hello. Car repairs. Some people, if you got a scratch or a dent, there are more over-the-counter local ways of dealing with it. But if you take it to a manufacturer, they're going to want to replace the entire door, the entire panel, and something that was initially will turn into a pretty hefty lift financially if you get your car jacked up, or also increase insurance prices. Security is another thing. Like the door cam and all the different security cams, do we overpay for those? Energy bills, absolutely. Truthfully, absolutely. Especially if you live in the Northeast where you get those 8 months of snow, 7, 8 months of cold. You know what I mean? Energy bills, paying too much, find a workaround. You can even apply for solar, things like that. I'll do two more and then I'll move on. Credit card debt. Try to eliminate your interest and credit card debt so that is not something that plagues your financial future. All right. And that was, I'm not going to do all 21 because we'd be here all night. But you can go on Wallet Jump and check out the 21 dumbest things we keep spending too much money on. And we have to do it. Peace, Sister Aurora. How you doing?
Oh, good. Thank you.
What are some of the things that you overspend on that? And I'll join you. I'll join you. Like Fred Sanford said, coming to join you. I'm gonna join you on this one. What are some of the things that you overspend on? So as the economy moves into this digital money era, we can curtail those things and be a little more healthy in our consumer choices. What do you think?
I think that's a possibility. But what do I don't? Oh gosh, what do I spend money on?
Or spend way too much money. So one of the
Food.
things, food. Okay, there you go. There you
Food.
go. Yeah, we could just do the Gandhi thing, right? We could just,
And I got 3 mouths, and they.
I saw your face. You're not ready to be like Gandhi. You like, I don't know about all that Gandhi mess.
My kids will sit there and wrestle that cow and take the top off if they don't get meat. So
yeah.
But I don't eat meat. So for me, it's food because I'm spending it on them.
Right.
Yeah. And what else? I mean, if you have pets, I spend a lot on my pets. I know I probably do a little bit too much.
We spend a lot on our meow meows and our poochies.
Yes,
absolutely.
Fur babies. I spend
absolutely.
money on them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you too. Yeah.
I was having a garage sale this summer, and we had 2 Yorkies and a German Shepherd. And my Yorkie passed and my German Shepherd passed. And if I tell you the amount of dog coats that was in the spot, come on.
I wish I knew you because I said I got clothes.
Come on.
I got matching chains and laces.
Hey man, if y'all need dog coats for the winter, hit the Vic up. We got you. We got about 8 of them jokers just laying around like it ain't nothing. We even got big coats, but Trigger wasn't having it. He wasn't having none of it. He wasn't having. Oh, so I got mad fur, and you just want to make me 15, 20 degrees hotter because it's cute, right? Because it's cute. That's what you're trying to do to me. Okay, watch what I do with this.
Yeah, and I am growing Yorkies, so they've been big. They were 2 now. And then 2 cats, and everybody has to dress alike on Christmas. You know how that is.
See. So you got PJs in the attic that you ain't doing nothing with. Some with the foot, some without the foot.
That's it. But yeah, I think I spend too much on my pet stuff.
Yeah. So once again, we're here for this tonight. We're here for the INFO-DEMIC. I just came across this word earlier. Not today, but in my, doing my research, preparing for the show. INFO-DEMIC. Have you ever heard of that word, sis? You familiar?
Well, just heard it when they were talking about how much information flows through on. Oh gosh, this is other young man's podcast that I was listening to.
Okay.
And they use that term.
They use that term.
Yeah.
Okay. That one was new to me. I heard a epidemic. I heard a pandemic. I haven't heard an infodemic. So that's one of them. That's one of them newfangled slang things.
Them youngins,
INFO-DEMIC. So basically, that's basically misinformation, disinformation, anything that revolves around COVID-19 or protesting what's going on in Gaza, all that type of stuff that they're putting a lot of hard stops on. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's very interesting because Tim Walz, the vice president nominee, had some really interesting things to say about this, and we're going to go through that a little bit later. But for right now, I just wanted to let the people know what the show is about and how they can get involved. You can still get involved down below. V77 EDCXYI7 are the call letters. You can put that in your box up top, your address bar. You will pop up like Brother Godspeed or Sister Aurora, and you too can rock out with us and have a higher discussion, as it were. Here we go. So I think that's going to kind of end the AAT report, our Healthy, Wealthier, and Wiser segment. You got anything healthy and wise for the people? Health is wealth right now, based on what happened in the last couple of years to our folks. Any healthy tips for the people out there?
Yes, go to the doctor. If you got insurance, just go. Go at least, and especially in my men folk, just get a checkup. Cough, it ain't gonna be but a second, but really to protect yourselves. Too many men around my age and younger have passed from cancer because they were afraid to check. Because they didn't want to find out. That's what you get. Oh, I didn't want to go because I don't want to find out. Well, you need to find out because if you find out in the stage 4, it's too late. So just go get your checkups. Men need breast checkups too. So go get
men need what? What was the last
thing? They need the breast checkups too. For breast cancer.
Oh shoot! See,
yeah, there's been men that have had breast cancer. And
I'm gonna say this, man. I'm gonna say this. Get them push-ups, man. Like, what's popping? Like, why you need checkups there? Get them push-ups. What's popping?
That's how you see it, because when you're rubbing your hand over somebody.
50 in a clip. Let's go. You got diamond push-ups, 50 in a clip. Get big. What you talking about with this breast cancer?
Yeah, men have been finding there's been more
soy boys.
Out they have.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Soy boys. That's a little wild right there on me, but I appreciate it though. I appreciate the tip. Go to the doctor.
I'm gonna put this doctor's name in the chat text area.
Okay.
Who's somebody I would tell people to look into.
Is that the sister you were telling me about, bro?
Nah, it's a doctor. He's a dude.
Okay.
I should say he's a man. And he's very he helped a relative of mine's. They was dealing with a heavy case, and he helped them, and it worked without chemo.
Nice.
No chemo.
Nice.
So he's been known to also help certain people at a certain level of stage 4 as well.
Right. Did you guys hear about the damn, that's impressive. Did you guys hear about the it was either a plane crash or a helicopter crash with the doctors that supposedly have found a marketable cure for cancer?
And every time you turn around, when a doctor finds cure,
I heard of it. Yes, I did hear of something like that.
That doctor is demised. I mean,
yeah, it was about maybe 8 doctors or more on this particular flight,
and
it crashed, and everybody believes with them went the cure for cancer and the cure for all those diseases that have plagued us over the last some odd years. And there's also a rumination about a German doctor, Oswald or something like that, who found a cure for cancer during Hitler's days too.
Deep.
Yeah. And he was one of them orange juice dudes.
Mm-hmm.
He the juice. I'm being
juicer.
The juice.
Hey, look, some folk. You know what I noticed? Not for nothing. I would say like I want to say like maybe about 7 out of 10 times. When you find folks that are related to the holistic field, 7 out of 10, I'm gonna say like my experience. I stress my experience, right? No big prejudice. Like they just, see it as people striving to be healthy. You know what I mean? So that's from my little experience. When it comes to holistic health, you know what I mean? Like I've dealt with Gary Noll. I've sat there with that man, and that man has helped my family for free, right in front of me.
Right.
Yeah, real talk with real things that really worked. You know what I'm saying? So, my experience has been a little bit different when it comes to holistic health field. At least I can say that much.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
And brother, can you give us a tease on the sister who? Remember the sister who you said was a practitioner, and you wanted her to get on the show, and she did some really unique things.
Oh, right. Yeah. That's what
was that Queen Afua?
Yeah.
No,
Hey,
not
look.
Queen Afua.
No,
but she's super dope as well.
Yeah, I'm hoping to get her to get on the show sometime in September. I'm hoping because she's
got
to do a massage.
What was her name again, bro?
Holistic side. Oh yeah. Shoot, pardon myself. I'm hungry all day, so I'm just getting my mind right. I'm gonna get her in a sec because I ain't gonna hold you up.
Nah,
I've been
do what you gotta do.
I've been busting down in the meantime. So I'm a little bit, out of sorts, just a tiny bit on the social side. I'm gonna get her name in a hot sec.
That's why I had to come off camera just to finish my
sandwich. This is my name for her. No, I could dig it. So that's why I've been blocking myself. Oh yeah, I call her Dr. Paula, man. Yeah, I call her Dr. Paula. She don't. Yeah. She don't. She don't present herself with that title. I gave it to her because when I asked her to help me with something, and the stuff you and I talk about that I'm dealing with, it worked right off the rip.
Right.
Sister was able to tell me that the equipment she was using on me, they saw her come in the office with that equipment, and they looked at her and said, why are you bringing that in here? You can't bring that in here. That actually works.
Nice.
That actually works. Are you trying to heal people? I was like, huh? I'm like, wow. Things that we look like we're speculating when we're up here building is actually real time. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And she confirmed for me. And I was just like, wow, this is crazy.
For them, the game is to be sold, not told, right?
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. And she used that piece of equipment on me. I felt the effects immediately after the session, bro. No joke. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. All right. So we are going to move on to our Lit City report. The wacky, the wild, the wonderful things that make our world go around. Because we need a little bit of levity in these times that get crazy. So our story tonight in the Lit City report is a video that I got from an old school friend of mine, and he sent me this video on what you did on Facebook is contagious, man, because some other people who support the show on Instagram set up an Instagram Real HD Show alert chat.
Oh, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. That's
and they
dumping
all type of information in there. So, make sure y'all go on the Real HD Show Facebook chat, and make sure you guys go on the Real HD Show Instagram chat. Dump all the info in there. I want all the good stuff. I want all the alerts. I want all the information. Gimme. Yum. Give me all that knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I need it. And you need it too. That's why we're here, to have a higher discussion about it. All right, so I know the two people that are on with me right now is gonna vibe off of what I'm about to show in the Lit City report. I got two parts to the Lit City report. I don't even know if we're gonna get to the INFO-DEMIC because this is so funny. We might just vibe off of this for another half hour, but Let's check this out. This is old school 40 deuce. Let's check this out on the Real HD show. Here we go.
Get the fuck out of here, man. What's this, Channel 7? What's down now? What's up, what's up, what's up? How you doing, man? Yo, what's up? How you, man? 2020,
I'll play it one more time. Because sometimes our young people need to see these things and be aware. Here we go.
Get the fuck out of here, man. What's this, Channel 7? What's down now? What's up, what's up, what's up? How you doing, man? Yo, what's up? How you, man? 2020,
All right. So that's our Lit City report. We got 40 deuce, old school 40 deuce before Disney. So what do I think, man? Y'all, do y'all have any memories of old school 40 deuce?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I knew y'all would.
Oh yeah.
Most definitely. Yes. But today
Now if you go down there, you walk a step to cost $5. A step. One step in 42nd Street.
Strollers and
You know, they want your credit card. You know, you go half a block, you gotta pay $5.
You see a lot of
I ain't
babies
gonna hold you up,
coming out
boy.
at
I
night.
caught flashbacks. I got flashbacks of the Warriors. Come on and play,
Yeah. You saw what them brothers is in there rocking.
Warriors, come on and play,
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Yo, I tell you, I kid you not. You know what's crazy? Young folks watching this right now, they got to realize that was them back then in a whole different habitat.
Right.
Yeah, they don't believe that we were walking around like that.
That's right.
In front of adult places, you know. But yeah, now you go out there, it's strollers at night, you know. Little babies with them at night.
Yeah,
Man. I used to put mine in the car.
Their New York isn't even like the New York in 2000. Their New York
Yeah.
isn't even like the New York back in 99 and 2000. Their New York is not even like the New York in the 90s.
Nothing like it.
Much more the 80s.
Well, the 80s, you're likely to get your bag snatched.
They was doing all that down there.
Word.
You got a feeler you were being followed.
You better put that purse across your chest.
That's right.
Wear it in the front. Wear it in the front. Don't have your wallet in your back pocket.
Going down there.
Nope.
Like, yeah.
Don't have your wallet in your back pocket.
Don't do
None of
that.
That's easy work.
None of that. And in the 80s, they would just snatch that phone out of your hand. And then ask you for the password. Give it to me.
Pockets, flashes.
Right. Remember that?
The flashes.
Yeah, remember the flashes.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
People run up on you in the subway and
when they open up their coats.
Word.
Oh gosh.
The original trench coat mafia.
Yeah, man. So we're gonna move on real quick from that. I just wanted to show that flashback. That was really. Oh, here's the question I wanted to ask about that with y'all. Which 42nd Street was better, the new one or the old one?
I like the new one.
I
like the new one.
Okay.
I'm like,
you know what's crazy? I get nostalgic when I see that time period, but I'm with her. You know, the new one is more built for tourists. I mean, let's be real. You know, the new one is like the city that never sleeps now, for real. For real. You know what I mean?
And you won't get mugged if you walk
It always look like daytime down there, no matter what time of the day it is, right?
Yep.
The place is like a casino. It's always got the lights on like a casino, boy. But nostalgia, when I see that, I remember as a kid. You know what I mean? It's nostalgia.
Yeah, man. Our quick memory story time with the Vic on the Real HD show. I remember going to see Return of the Jedi with my dad on 42nd Street, the big movie theater. Remember the big movie theater?
Yeah.
Went to see Return of the Jedi on 42nd Street. I must have been about
Absolutely.
maybe 10 years old, 11 years old, somewhere in there. I'm dating myself.
You'll never forget it.
That
You'll
was
never
the
forget it either.
best, bro. That was the best.
Never
Never
It
forget
was
forget
it.
it.
You'll always
awesome.
remember it.
Yo,
Sitting there with your
in
dad, eating
1977.
popcorn, watching Star Wars.
Hell yeah.
Don't get no better
You'll
than
never
that,
forget
man.
it.
Yeah,
You'll
don't get
never
no better
forget
than
it.
that.
You'll never forget it.
Then you come out
My
of the
mom
then
took
you
me
come
to
out of
Star
the
Wars.
theater. Go ahead.
Hell yeah. Now I'm sorry. You just gave me a beautiful flashback. So my mom took me to Star Wars in '77. My dad took me to see Empire Strikes Back whenever that came out. But the first time we saw Star Wars, let me tell you something. The line was wrapped around the corner.
Yes.
And the movie was so good. My mom, my god sister, and I sat there and watched it a whole second time without getting out the chair.
Right.
For free.
Remember those days where you could watch a movie twice? Remember
Heck
that?
yeah.
You know, maybe even sneak into the other movie across the way, you know?
Heck yeah.
You know, our parents didn't see nothing wrong with us
Enter a relationship.
going there in the morning. We'd go there in the morning on the matinee, you know, on the matinee ticket for $3 or $5. And my parents saw nothing wrong with, okay, we finished that movie. Now we go to the next theater. But now you got to buy them online and you got to claim your seat. But then you just walk into theater after theater. I mean, we used to go in on a Friday when they didn't have to work that night and go in at the first movie at 10 a.m. Mom got all the snacks and everything in the purse.
Right, right.
At movie number 3, she pulling out lunch. We're like, what's that in this bag?
Hey.
That's the chicken and biscuit.
Tuna fish never tastes so good. No doubt. We just vibing right here on the Real HD show for old school 40 dudes. I like old school 40 dudes because I was a little mischievous knucklehead. I was the one, if you left me too long on the corner, I was gonna find something to get into. That was me. You know what I'm saying? Like, ooh, what's, you know, Dr. Evil, like what's popping? What's all these people out here for? What can and then you move to the left, and then, you know, Pop snatch you up by the collar, and then you knew you had to act right, get some act right, you know. Yeah, 40 dudes, really great memories. Shout out to Sincere for that clip. Appreciate you, bro. Come back on the show, man, whenever you get a chance, man. You know you always got a home here. Pop on, give us an AAT report. That was the creator of the AAT report, by the way. My man Sincere, out of the BX. Hope you're doing well,
Oh wow,
brother.
applause.
Yeah,
applause.
hope you progressing. Yeah, man. Really brilliant brother. And I hope he's doing well. We haven't spoken a minute, but I hope he's doing well. So we're gonna get into one more piece, and it happens to be about the Democratic National Convention. All type of crap done popped off at the DNC. And one such thing popped off with Roly Poly Martin. Oh boy. Did y'all hear about that?
Roly Poly
No.
Martin.
Yeah, man. You know, the brother rolled up. The brother has some, you know, criticisms of government, and especially the Democratic side of things. And you know how Roller Martin get. He get all lathered up, get all crazy, and he get the you're stupid, you're an idiot. And
Don't like that guy.
Yeah, all those sorts of things. Brother rolled up on him at the DNC. Brother rolled up on him like, yo, what kinds of stupid am I now? I was like,
whoa, he pulled up. He pulled up.
I was like, oh, snap. And then
Roland was trying to shoot the fade.
Yeah. Roland didn't want to shoot the fair one, bro. He didn't want no parts of that. Let me see if I can get that piece up. Yeah, here we go. Roland Martin confronted drama BLM activist comes for Roland Martin at DNC and claims he hid behind a woman. He straight hid. He didn't want no parts of that. Dude was like, yo, it was Jamal Green. Y'all familiar with Jamal Green?
Yes.
Name sound familiar, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he rolled up on Roland Martin, and Roland Martin actually hid behind somebody. He didn't want no smoke. So brother Godspeed, is he a studio gangster? Is that what we doing?
Mm-hmm.
We tough behind the mic.
In the studio when it's your show.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You know, lots of, you know, you super tough when it comes to that. And then, you know, not so tough in person. Hillary Clinton can't dance you out of this one. So here's another part of it, and then I'm gonna show y'all a little clip that goes with it. Drama between Roland Martin leveraging his platform criticized Jamal Green. This digital confrontation, however, took a dramatic turn when the two met face to face at the DNC, according to eyewitnesses' accounts on Twitter. When Green approached Martin to confront him, Martin's response was not one of direct engagement, but rather avoidance, reportedly using a woman as a shield. Come on, Roland Martin. You got all that belly and all that backside, and you got to use a sister? Come on now. Come on now. Crazy on crazy. What do y'all think? People like Roland Martin and other political pundits, what do you think the future of what they do for conventions like the Democratic National Convention and other things, what do you think their utility will be as we move further and further into the digital age? Do you think they'll still have value as a talking head piece, or do you think that they'll lose value because AI will be the puppeteers. AI will be the voice piece of the discourse. What do y'all think?
And that's definitely a possibility because now you see it on a lot of the podcasts. If you go through them and you see they're using AI, they're using a lot of clips. They're making sure they cut it off at 14 seconds,
Yeah.
And different things like that. So, even the other day when I asked you why do they use certain terms, because I wasn't familiar, but I'm like, everybody's doing it. And you explained it to me. So I see a lot of the podcasts now that I'm watching it, they are using a lot of AI. They're using a lot of clips to tell the stories. Every other word is, okay, now watch this. Okay, now here's the roll tape, and stuff like that. So they're going to be just taking it right off the news.
Oh, man, we got some. I'm trying to, pardon me, I don't mean to not look away I don't mean to look away at the show. I wonder if people are trying to get in. And
we were earlier, and so
they're having trouble. Let me see.
Yeah, and so Brother Godspeed gave me the link, and I reloaded it up.
Oh man, what? Okay, let me see. Oh man, the link isn't working. It's taking us to this page. Every time I share the link, it fails to operate. Yeah. Sorry.
So the brother gave it to me, and I went back to my post and reposted it.
Okay.
I hope I lost.
Let me just test this on my phone real quick, and just see.
Yeah, it was mixed. It was missing the letter X.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah. So when he gave it to me, and I said I posted it on again, and we're going to this 404 page not found, and the link that was sent to us this morning is missing the letter X between the C and the Y. It's not CCY, it's CXYI.
Okay. I apologize for that. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm going to put the entire thing in the chat once again. So anybody who wants to jump up and come on the show, if you still have time, if you're not too inundated with your schedule, you actually can. So let's get this going so I could be fair to the people who do so much for the show. Let's see. StreamYard.com. And then you want to go / and then you want to go 77. You want to go V77.
Right.
EDCU. I mean CX. Sorry about that.
Mm-hmm.
EDCXY I7. And then you got it.
Yes, I reposted it, hoping.
Yeah, I just reposted it now too. Please join. Active link. All right, y'all. Y'all jump in here. Y'all bear with a brother. Jump in here and let's get this conversation started. All right, so it's in the chat. You guys know where we at. Jump on in. The water's fine. Let's get it popping. And Tariq Nasheed had a funny ditty about Roland Martin. I'm gonna play it real quick. I ain't gonna go too heavy with it because it's actually kind of graphic. But Tariq Nasheed's always making fun of Roland Martin. So I'll show it real quick, and then we'll keep it pushing from there. Fair use. Here we go.
Yes, I'm speaking to you. Musty tether, where you fleeing to? Musty tether, yes, I'm speaking to.
I'm gonna get out of here on that one. I'll let y'all go on Tariq Nasheed's page and watch the rest of that. It looked like he needed a breast examination, Sister Aurora. It didn't look like he need that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I don't envy y'all at all. That breast examination, the way my wife describes it, I'll be like, man, listen, y'all can have that. I'm good. I'm gonna do these push-ups and keep this chest up nice and right. I don't need none of that. You know what I'm saying? All right. So once again, we're here for the INFO-DEMIC. What is the INFO-DEMIC? Well, over the last couple of years, you've heard a lot about misinformation, disinformation. They've been going crazy about people and what they had to say about the COVID-19, the Rona, and they've been going crazy about what people have been saying about the Gaza conflict. No matter what side you take, you know what I mean. I actually had a Israeli woman on the show when I first covered the Gaza conflict way back, and she came on the show. She said she just wanted to learn. Palm colored lady, and we were just talking, chopping it up. I was making her aware of some facts, and she bounced. She left the show. Couldn't hang with the information. What you think, sis?
Hey, people gonna believe what they believe, and so not everyone is going to gravitate to new information or information that's not familiar to them. They're just gonna leave,
As we slowly got mad participants on the show, because that was hot button topic at the time, everybody protesting and whatnot. She just slowly he bounced off the panel, and I was like, oh, okay, okay. See you in North Israel in a minute. Cool. So hope everybody now has the correct address to jump on the show. Pardon self if that wasn't in the chat the right way. It is now. So if anybody wants to jump on 9/11, we still got quite a few minutes to go on the show. And we were finally getting to our center topic of the night, INFO-DEMIC. How do you feel about all of the misinformation, or what do you think about the misinformation, disinformation, don't say Israel crusade, don't say 19 crusade? What do you think what do you think of how all of that is, I guess, ruminating and matriculating throughout the country? Do you feel less empowered, more empowered? Do you feel more expressive or less expressive with those guardrails up? What do you think?
I mean, it's hard to say now as, conflicts are going on, and, it's we're reading it, but we don't know who's giving us the news, and what side is giving us the news. So
Right.
we can't basically say that we understand what's going on unless you're there, or you've escaped from there. But you don't know who's feeding us the news and what side, is being fed to us. So you can't really make a well, you can, because people like the lie better than they do the truth, but they gravitate towards the lie. But you really can't say unless you understand who's feeding you the news, where's the news coming from, and have you lived it? Do you know somebody who's living it right now?
Yeah, man. And now what we're up against. Oh, Godspeed, did you want to chime in? Hey, bro, did you want to chime in on the misinformation, disinformation piece?
The fake news.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about that is I was getting ready for the show. I was talking and I was thinking about fake news. And I was thinking about when that actually came into the political discourse. Like, when did people start actually saying it? And that was in the Trump era, right? Wasn't he running around talking about fake news this and fake news that?
Yep. And the one that was putting out fake news.
Yeah. Yeah. And then of course you gotta question those who wanna kind of put you through the ringer for what you're saying and what you're not saying. They might just be the ones giving out the bad information. I remember I got a penalty from one of the social media sites about talking about the Rona and talking about Palestine and whatever, and they called it medical misinformation. And guess what, Sister Aurora? It wound up being true. Later on, CDC's apologizing, Pfizer's apologizing. There's a 39-page adverse effect piece on there, and they basically banned my show for 2 weeks. Yeah, over something that turned out to be true. So that's why I thought this whole piece about INFO-DEMIC is really important, because even in the last show, or the last two shows, when we talked about Operation Mockingbird, meaning the press and the government colluding to put out a certain narrative or a certain message to the people that the people can't refute, because before the internet and before all of the different information sources, you only had the 6 o'clock and 11 o'clock news. And if everybody on every channel said the exact same thing about the exact same topic, how can you vet whether or not that was true or not? You know what I mean? And people had said since the early, mid 70s that this was a thing happening. And then, now let's talk about what our folks do. Haven't we been fighting misinformation and disinformation as a conscious community for years?
Oh, absolutely.
Especially as it pertains to Black history, Black scholarship, and what they're teaching in the schools to the babies.
Mm-hmm.
So isn't it the pot calling the kettle when you got somebody like Tim Walz that will come on and say misinformation and disinformation and hate speech is you would be of the criminal variety if you use those sorts of things? I thought that was really interesting. I thought that was pretty hypocritical as well, especially when you got like the. Did you guys happen to see that article with the Archdiocese of Canterbury out of England? Godspeed. Did you see that one?
No, I definitely didn't see that.
What's interesting is that, if you go to 125th Street or Fulton Ave or Fordham Road or Jamaica Ave, and you see the brothers and sisters out there selling the books and the incense and the oils, and you want to, patronize the brothers and sisters trying to just make an honest living, giving good information out to the people. Those people were called quacks. Those people were called people who didn't know anything. And, the academic circles from college all the way down to preschool were basically trying to discredit any of the information that was given by Black scholars. Just to turn around during the pandemic period, and everything that people like Minister Louis Farrakhan or Malcolm X or anything like that, those things would actually come to be true. If you think about some of the things they said, like if you think about some of the things Brother Farrakhan said during the Million Man March, a lot of those things came true. If you think about what Brother Malcolm said about the political party structure in the United States, a lot of that came to be right and exact. So I often find it interesting that somebody or a group of people, an ethnic group of people who happen to be in quote unquote power, will label other folks as giving misinformation or disinformation. And hasn't these people made a monopoly of misinformation and disinformation? Let me know. Am I in left field, Brother Godspeed? Am I in left field? Have these people made a monopoly of disinformation and misinformation? Can you hear me, bro? All right, I'll wait. Oh, there he is. Can't hear you. Hey, oh man. Wow. Okay.
Sound isn't working.
Yeah, sound ain't working. Try to go out and come back in. That might work. Sometimes I know that helps a lot. I'm not on my usual platform, which is Google Chrome, because I had to update. Anybody knows when you update these computers, man, wacky stuff happens.
I tell you.
All your settings go wonky. All your information goes wonky. You got to go back in, and you wind up doing more damage than when you uploaded than when you uploaded the update. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So tired of that. So tired of that. But anyway, so that was just one observation I made when I was hearing Tim Walz talk about, and what's the quote? Let's see. Let me go back to the quizzo. Let's see. So Tim Walz, the Democratic vice president candidate, says, there's no guarantee of free speech in this democracy when it comes to misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech. Especially that our government doesn't quantify as safe speech. So when you hear stuff like that, Sister Aurora, add to the stage. Can you hear me now, bro?
I can hear you. You can hear me?
Yeah,
you good.
I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. So then now let me see. Brother got on the the Moorish hat. Salute, 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 salute,
Indeed.
salute,
Love, peace,
salute to those
truth.
powerful
Love,
people.
peace, truth, freedom, and justice.
Absolutely. So let me ask you a question, bro. If you see something like misinformation and disinformation, and you see the group of ethnic people who are talking about misinformation and disinformation, isn't it a little the pot calling the kettle for people who have had a monopoly on misinformation and disinformation over the last 1,000 years to now come
Absolutely.
out and
Absolutely.
say, yo,
Absolutely.
you about some misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech? What do y'all
Yeah.
think?
Yeah, there's always somebody with a silver spoon in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? That first of all, is the silver spoon in the mouth people that's running this damn country. And we know that. You know what I mean? We know that. I mean, there's too much of a big conversation around that. But my thing is like this, man. If it was up to these people, we would all think that we all just are native or indigenous to one place and one place only. The place where the Atlantic slave trade took place from. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Now, leave it up to them, bro. Everybody's African American. Everybody's an African. And no disrespect, my brothers and sisters, I am diaspora, regardless of the fact. But I hail as an indigenous of the Western Hemisphere. You know what I'm saying? We got roots here. You know what I mean? We was here. A lot of us were POWs. And I ain't just talking about so-called North America. I'm talking about even in the so-called West Indies too. You know what I mean? A lot of us don't have direct ancestry coming from a slave ship. So they base most of their like empowerment and economic system based on that lie right there. You know what I'm saying? If it wasn't for the Moors that I claim diaspora to, from Morocco, Mauritania, Mali, Marrakesh, if it wasn't for those folks, guess what? The cotton that they had our people picking when they imprisoned us, prisoner of war us, and also brought some of us over from Al-Kibulan. You know what I'm saying? That same cotton that they had us picking was the cotton that we put them onto over there in Spain. You know what I mean? They didn't know nothing about that stuff. But they base everything on misinformation to denationalize.
Absolutely. Real quick, bro, I'm gonna let you finish. There's a great book about that. It's called Spain, the Root and the Flower. Go check that out. It's about how the Moors. It's about how the Moors. What do you call that? Brought tech to Europe. And tech, and at the time, and it was about the Middle Ages, and at the time, technology for them was washing their ass. That was technology.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting in them crevices instead of just wearing perfume. That was technology. You know what I mean? Just bringing water to your house. Bringing water from the lake and the river and the sea so that you could cook with healthy water. So you weren't eating rancid water or drinking rancid water. That was technology. And the brothers and sisters showed them.
Writing some lyrics. It's funny you said that. I was just writing lyrics about that earlier this week.
Yes. Yes. So what happened was back in the Middle Ages, we might be talking about maybe 600 AD, 700 AD. The Visigoths were burning a lot of the fields in Europe because, of course, after the Roman dynasty ended, there was chaos. There was a lot of infighting and so on and so forth. I don't want to give a history lesson, but I could talk forever on that. The land was unfertile. They couldn't grow anything in Europe. And the Moors used aqueducts. That's why Venice is a city of water. Because they used Venice to channel the water into the upper parts of Southern Europe. And guess what they did that was brilliant? And one of the reasons that we have Easter to this day, they release bunnies in the field. And you know how bunnies stomp their feet when they're real excited and they make divots in the ground? They went and planted where the bunnies made the divots and the holes in the ground. So along with the water and the aqueducts channeling water, and the seed placement and the bunnies were responsible for the rebirth of the land in Europe, so that you could actually farm on it.
Irrigation.
Yeah. And all that did was launch Prince Machiavelli, Venice, capitalism, Adam Weishaupt, Adam Smith, the whole, Enlightenment period. That's all that launched. It just launched an entire 1,000-year period for them, But that, we digress. We don't want to get too far ahead on that. That's a whole nother show. But I love the, Cordoba, El Andalus, Venice, Carthage, Barcelona. There's parts of southern Europe that are all melanated. You can walk up to the storefronts and there's pictures of brothers and sisters with locks and kinky hair as the vigil when you walk into a town. Powerful stuff. El Andalus, Cordoba, Granada. The Battle of Granada was one of the last battles before the Inquisition was over.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
absolutely.
When,
Boabdil, Sultan Boabdil.
Yes. Abubakar and.
No, brother, you're right and exact.
Too much information, but anyway.
What I love about you is that you get down to specifics too, in a quick way too. You good with that, boy.
Well, I've had
but my thing with what you were saying. No, you go ahead.
No. I'm just saying, as a teacher, you have to do you have to battle a lot of poor education. And I've been a teacher for over 25 years, and I can't sit in front of a classroom full of melanated kids and not tell them the truth.
Indeed.
And this stuff will never be on a standardized test. This stuff will never be on a exam that you have to graduate high school for, even though it should. You know what I mean?
Social studies.
Yeah. The whole reason why you do algebra is because of the Moors.
Al-Kibulan.
Timbuktu, the owl. Yes, exactly. So, not to get too far with it, because I know we're supposed to be talking about misinformation, disinformation, but
but you know what?
That exactly is it.
This is good information.
Sometimes you got to get into it with the opposite of it, right? Which is the right and exact information, which is what you're doing right there. This misinformation, they even got us so bad we don't even know our own like nationality, our own tribal names, and none of that. We address each other by the word nigga all the time, and it's like they're not understanding. And I know you do, and I know you do. All right, because I learned some of this from your bookstore, sister. How about that? So what I don't like, it makes my blood crawl. I don't mean it like on an everyday normal level. I come around the way and somebody say, "Hey, what up, my nigga?" I get that. I know it's out of love. I know what that's about. Q-Tip had helped make that a thing because he made a whole record, endearing the word. People like to look at NWA, but Q-Tip did too. Now, my thing with that is like this though. This is a new era. We got to evolve. You know what I'm saying? Not stay stagnant. If you believe in word sound power, then you won't be using the word nigga as a term of endearment, because nigga comes from Negro. Negro comes from negro and negra. Negra is for the woman, and that came from necro, and that came from nekos from Greece. And what does it all mean? Dead. So when we use that as a term of endearment, and if we all believe in word sound power, even some of us really don't, or some of us really live by it but disbelieve it, guess what? It's like we're saying dead, and that's misinformation. I'm alive by the blessings of the Most High, the all-in-one and one and all, man, woman, and child, original origin love. I believe the Most High is a family, and by that family's will, We're all here living and breathing. May you want to say that we're light beings having a human experience, like the Sufi brothers and sisters say. But guess what? One thing's for certain. No matter what, you're not nigger. You're not Negro. You're not necro. And you know what? If we could stop ourselves from being necro, guess what? We won't allow them to be our necromancers. See, that's the problem, is that the people who call us necro is not realizing that for every necro is a necromancer, just like for every hoe there is a pimp, right? Both in the gutter. So it's just, it's just crazy. But it's back to the lies, because they did all of that to denationalize us with lies, detribe us, and I'm making up a new term, detribe us with lies, so that we could be dumb, deaf, and blind and lost. They want to talk about the lost tribe of Shabazz. That wouldn't be a conversation if we just knew our tribal roots here. We wouldn't be even, a lot of us ain't no damn lost tribe. A lot of us are just misinformed, brainwashed by brutality of decades upon decades upon decades. Misinformation that bastard, that vice runner-up, or whatever he is, the new vice runner or whatever, man, please. People like him, guaranteed. He's
a vice runner too, because he gonna run that message. Whatever message they want him to run, he gonna say, go run that.
Yeah.
You think they had You think they had Kamala Harris dancing? Wait till you see what they got this dude doing. You gonna see him. Remember that dude, time to make the donuts. He gonna be doing all type of soy boy stuff. You just wait.
Man. Them kind of dudes them kind of guys can't fight themselves out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah, man, for sure.
With scissors on their hands. It's the result.
Yeah, man. So speaking of Tampon Timmy, and the reason I call him Tampon Timmy, Tim Walz, is because he was he was one of the leading political officials in Minnesota that brought about a bill to have tampons placed in boys' bathrooms.
To have tampons placed in the boys' bathroom.
Yeah. And people have been clowning him ever since, calling him Tampon Tim, Tampon Timmy. I like Tampon Timmy. That rings a little heavier.
Why did they put him in the boys' bathroom? So when the girls run in there to use it, they have there.
We wish
for the I don't want to get canceled for hate speech. For the quasi folks.
They still ain't gonna be using no tampon. Okay.
Right. That part.
Yeah.
That part. So Tampon Timmy is what they call him. Yeah. And he like I said, he was the one responsible for that. So that's always a black eye, when you're doing that. And I don't think he got 50 in the clip. What are you, about 80? I don't know how old that man is.
No, he's young. He's in his 50s.
He looks young. He looks mighty young.
Is he young?
Young.
Yeah.
He might be in his 40s.
Is he young?
I know he's young. I know he's younger than me.
Oh wow, that's crazy.
He might very well be in his 40s. I could be wrong. I've seen him once. Don't really know about him too much.
Okay, so he just turned.
He
turned 60 this year.
Okay. Yeah, I thought he wasn't.
I don't really know.
So we're gonna watch this video real quick, and then we'll get on it on the other side, because I have questions related to free speech and related to our people's plight and struggle. I see you, Agape. If you want to jump back on, brother, come on. I know you're working, and you probably decided to jump on, but the water's fine. Come on in.
Vice presidential candidate Tim Walz gets wrong in this news clip from a couple of years ago.
There's no guarantee to free speech on misinformation or hate speech, and especially around our democracy.
The answer? Essentially everything he just said in that clip was wrong. Let's talk about it. People publish and say things all the time that you might find offensive. But there's actually no legal definition for hate speech, which makes sense because I might find something hateful that you don't, and vice versa. The same thing goes for misinformation. Is it good to spread lies? No. But as we've seen over the last several years, sometimes things labeled misinformation actually end up being true. Trying to criminalize it would therefore be disastrous. In fact, the Supreme Court has ruled repeatedly that there is no special First Amendment exception for speech that might be offensive. That's good. Would you want your ideological enemies deciding which speech was illegal?
All right, there we have it. Now you guys can look on MSNBC. You guys can go on, but there's a particular site that you could go on. It's called Reason Magazine, and you can see the whole transcript of him in that particular vein giving that speech about freedom of speech. So I have questions, man. I got a lot of questions. I hope Godspeed can come back on. I'll drop them in your lap, Sister Aurora. What do you think about that? Do you think people do you think I got a question. If politicians run for office and they are responsible for representing the people, how can they represent the people? Or let me bring them back up. Oh, there you go, bro. If politicians run for office and they're responsible for representing the people, then how can they be so bombastic and so just, I guess, outright like direct about what will be tolerated and what will be freedom of speech and won't be freedom of speech if the Supreme Court already deemed any threat to free speech unconstitutional? Where do you think these people get the gall to get on national TV and make these sorts of claims?
Well, again, you remember they're elected or selected, I should say, versus
Hello.
there's selected persons that interpretate the laws, and they're not selected on our end, because look at what's the First Amendment. Everybody always knows the First Amendment. The United States Constitution says it's freedom of speech, but yet then they went through, and this was a great sign when they took Trump off of Twitter and all social medias when he was spreading the misinformation about COVID, and they said that was paramount to yelling fire in a theater.
Right.
He was said, and having people, drink bleach and things like that. And so that's when they cut him off. They're like, look, okay, he going to end up having a whole bunch of dead people on his hands, but he already had a whole bunch of dead people on his hands, because if he had sat there and said about the information about COVID in the November of the year before 2019, then, half of our friends and families wouldn't be gone in 2020 and 2021, so that information was dangerous information. It was the information that they're stating that they're trying to stop. But again, you gave it freedom of speech, and it's coming out of the mouth of the person who has the highest office in the state, so you just let it go by. So really, you gotta look, you can't yell fire in the theater. Well, is that freedom of speech? And I'm looking at the screen and say fire, it could be talking about the screen, what's on the show. But there are limits to freedom, and there's limits to freedom of speech as well. So, that's what they're doing now. And they're like, oh, if this is going to endanger the lives of, but how are you going to know it's going to endanger the lives of, if you're muting whoever is speaking? So you really can't, you have to really be able to study and show yourself approved, because like Charlemagne says in the morning, everybody believes the lie better than they do the truth. The lie got more traction, the lie gets more grit, and the truth is like, oh, they don't want to hear all that. It comes with a little litany. So freedom of speech is not free. There are some penalties that come with it. So you always got to remember, they gave it to supposed to protect the press, it's supposed to protect any assemblies, it's supposed to protect you and I, just for being able to go out and stand on our soapbox and say what we want to say. And it's supposed to be, regardless, it's our truth. It may not be a truth or their truth, but it's our truth. So when someone is sitting there, especially in the world today, you got different people saying it, but if you're not, people are no longer emotionally intelligent, And they are not even trying to sit there and show that, the Bible says, show yourself approved. You got to go study for yourself. Everything somebody tells me, I don't take it as a thing. I'll just start, I even see my kids start, Mom says this is such and such, and they want to Google it in front of me. I said, oh, you're going to hurt my feelings like that. But at least when it comes up, it's whatever I had said, it was truth, But then I have to show them. But on this hand, if it came out from this man's mouth, it's not the same truth. So, freedom of speech is not free. And now they have a whole, after knowing it's the First Amendment in the Constitution, but after it comes down this whole litany of cases and all of these things involving freedom of speech and what's free and what's not. And yes, you can't say the N word anymore. You can't say this word. And people are like, no, that's my truth. That's my, as brother started out saying, they're using it because someone is telling them, well, we do that. That's a term of endearment when it's coming from my brother or my sister. It's a term of endearment. So that truth is never, so the way that word is used, that's not going to go away because your truth is different from my truth. The brother who got on with us the other day, that's his truth. I love the way he spoke openly and honestly and authentically about what he felt,
Oh, you talking about Agape? He was trying to get on just now. I don't know what happened. Maybe he got caught up at work.
And he spoke freely and fully and truthfully. And
that brother, he's a poet and he's a look, if y'all met 10 years ago, he would have been in Inner Circle for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
Right.
his.
Yeah, because he was
That's his fire.
Very
He just,
authentic. I just came away with a
he's
real
dope. I think my son,
Get
him and
busy.
my son were working on a hip hop poetry album together. I don't know. I gotta ask my son whatever happened to that, but he gave him a couple of tracks toward the spoken word album. So hopefully they get to finish it one day. Godspeed, I got a question for you based on Tampon Timmy, right? Tampon Timmy, I thought the certain unalienable rights were embedded into the Constitution, correct?
They're supposed to be, but that's why you have amendments.
Yeah.
Supposed to be.
Yeah.
So
I used to be more well versed in that, but yeah, I remember that.
So if it's meaning rights that you can't negotiate, they're unbreakable. They're given to you by the creation of things, the creator, whatever you believe in, God, Allah, Jesus, whatever it is. So those things are in what they call common law, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So is a right if someone can take it away and make it a privilege?
It's not. That's a contradiction.
Right. In the same way, where
that's more like might make right. And might don't
and then they make
right.
it right to fit a certain situation. When they sat there and remember eminent domain, when eminent domain was called, and I don't know about y'all upstate, but downstate Long Island, we had two military bases, and where I live in Uniondale and Marshall Field, that was all military bases.
Right.
Now, at one point in time,
I remember.
Yeah, so at one point in time when they were going to reinstitute the draft, and I think my brother was probably in like 10th, 11th grade in Uniondale High, and they were coming over to make sure they signed, and this is in the 70s. So my brother graduated in the 70s, my older brother. But, they came and was, had the recruiters there, and the families was getting up and saying, no, you don't have no right to do, to go to these students without having talked to the parents and things. But we had the military at the school. You had every branch. They had them having a little table. They could grab anybody at the time and sign them up, whatever it was, and then it crossed the constitution of that parente locus about being in the school and allowing someone to talk to your child without that person being a teacher or a faculty member or stuff like that. But I mean, there was a whole thing with that. So it really depends on what side you're looking at. Is it freedom of speech? Like I said, it's not free. So when they made eminent laws that said you couldn't distribute vulgar material, You couldn't have a flyer with a naked woman on it and throw the flyers up so people can pick them up so they know where the next dance or the next, club meeting is at. They used to come on campuses and throw, the club cards. And if the woman was scantily dressed on the club cards, well, we used to get all those cards, find the club who was having it and the ones who was distributing it, and they were fined by the county because there are laws in regards to, the imminent disbursement of what they call vulgar materials. You can't just remember the Chairman Mao's Red Book. I mean, it was something for all us to read. It was
Right.
when on my campus professor, Ken Jenkins, and God bless his soul, he used to teach us
Yes.
everything, but he gave us those books. And he says, because you're not supposed to have these books. These books they don't want you to have, but you need to
Right.
read it. You need to read about that, And he gave us books that you're not going to find in any libraries anymore, and especially one that the spook who sat by the door. When they figured that was a training that was used as a training guide.
Yes, it absolutely
Instead of,
was. It absolutely was.
And I remember, Professor James like, here, he goes, I said, oh, my parents have me. He goes, oh, your parents got you training, huh? I said, I gotta know what her job is. And when she fall, I pick it up. But, it became a training manual. It wasn't just our good reading materials. And that was in the late 70s. I mean, they used to have African study classes at Hofstra University, but the brothers that they were bringing in were former Panthers. And, it was the following year when the school found out that they shut the program down, because COINTELPRO was alive then too, FBI is trying to sit there and discredit all the brothers, trying to figure out how they can discredit them. If they can't get them on anything, what do they get you on? Tax evasion. They can't get you, they can't discredit your character is one of the things, the first things that they want to discredit, is your character, or you do one thing that was out of character and then you start doing things that are great. Well, they're going to try to pull that up and light a spotlight on it, the way you have Tampon Timmy. Well, they'll light a spotlight on, well, Roy, at that time you had this person coming in and these persons coming in, and this is this. I mean, we used to get FBI checked, at my shop. It became a big thing where we had brothers standing up for us, like Les Payne, another journalist, God bless the dead, and all of them came. It was like, I said, all this because I opened up a shop, and your name used to be right on the top of the list, So everything became, but wait a minute, why are we seeing all these folks going in? They're not supposed to like each other. Brothers of Judea, Nation of Islam, 5%ers. Why they all going in the same spot? They ain't supposed to like each other. They ain't supposed to. No, that's where unity happens. I had no problem bringing in brothers and sisters. I didn't care what you would think.
That was the more in you, sister. That was the more in you, sister. That was the more in you. That's your inner war coming out, because Brother Vic know why I'm saying that. Because the Moors used to have the Jews, the Catholics, or Christians, whatever they were with at that point. And Moors with Islam and Islam, all practicing underneath the same roof.
Yeah, and when we got together,
we practicing in the same buildings.
Right, we all got together not to dissuade anybody from their beliefs, but to work together and use our the commonest was that we were Black, and the other common thing is that, okay, well, we can all stand on this. Yeah, can we stand on, look, we gotta stop this epidemic from coming down this block in Hempstead and this here area and things like that. So we all got together for a common goal, and it wasn't for the village of Hempstead, it was for Nassau County. I mean, we turned it around in that that year leading up to the Millionaire March. Because that's when I opened up, and we turned it around. We found them pockets of Black people living out there in Millville, and who had the house in Mutton Town, the only Black person around there, and stuff like that. We found them, went there, let them know that they were not by themselves, and we used to have meetings where people came together. And so from that moment where people started coming together that should not have been together, that's when they started to target the shop.
Y'all see that post right there?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's popping in England right now.
Yeah.
Arrests over social media posts trigger free speech fears in the UK. I'm not going to play the video on it. You guys can go on, what was that? What's that site that it's on? You guys can go on NDT News Today, and you guys can check out that expose. There's another expose. I won't play the video, but there's a clip about what's considered misogyny and what's not considered misogyny. And Brother Luck, did you know that they're arresting men for watching certain YouTube videos? Did you know that? Ain't that crazy? I can't hear you, bro. All right, try to go out and come back in, and that might get it done. Yeah. So, Sister Aurora, let me ask you a question. Isn't it a slippery slope when you start curtailing or moving around people's rights and people's entitlements within as a taxpayer within the country? Can that lead? Do you see that at any point leading to further corruption of rights that are within the Constitution?
Oh yeah, look at during Trump's presidency, during that administration, they tacked on rights that were still on the books and resurfaced them. And the only reason why they were bringing them up because some of them took away our voting rights, like in Virginia. Some of them still made interracial marriages against the law. They're not. They haven't taken them off the books. So if somebody goes to, becomes governor and they want to sit there and it was the first black governor of Virginia. What was his name again? But I forgot his name. Oh my God. Well, he's the one that started finding those laws, that slavery was still intact. You could still become somebody's indentured servant. You can still be arrested for having an interracial marriage. Okay, yet alone interracial a relationship.
So loving versus Virginia didn't work in Virginia.
Yeah, that was, and they just finished with Governor Wilder. That was his name, right? The first black governor of Virginia went there, and when he finally looked at the loving and loving, they had actually brought it back up on the books that it was illegal to have an interracial marriage, and it was back then. And if you look into Governor Wilder's things, that he dug up a lot of those Virginia laws that was still in existence and was used by his next person, the person who won the governorship after Wilder. But again, that's going through a lot of places. While everybody was looking at something, probably about Kanye and stuff, they've taken away your right to vote and initiated having to use your ID in Georgia. You have to show ID before you can vote.
Right.
And that's not, but that's what they initiated because we all sleeping over here and thinking this, and so I'm like, when you're looking at freedom of speech, you're looking at who's telling you, and somebody like Tim Walz may have sat there and done something ridiculous, but it could have been that, okay, somebody told him that, if I don't see bathroom line short, I go to the men's room. Okay, they got stalls, they have something for me to close up in, and I would tell a brother, could you watch out for me while I go in there, because I'm not waiting on this long line for these women. I got pee, so.
Well, that's what's practical. What he was talking about was basically helping
there's no way you could help
trans community,
transgender or anything, because they will never be able to use a tampon. So I think he was misstepped saying that, at that time too, we have to all gender-free bathrooms, and we have to make gender-neutral bathrooms and things like that. So there's no way he possibly thought that as somebody who's transgender, unless they were males, because there's a lot of females who have to a male. I went to a program where they were introducing. I said, "Oh, everybody's sus," but they were introducing how these women have trans, just like Cher's daughter, Chastity, or son now. She went from female to male, and you have a lot of those.
Oh,
So
I didn't even know that.
oh yeah, so you have a lot of female. People talk about transgender because you can see the male change, but females that have done trans to males, it's very in this gender fluid nation, it's not uncommon. That's what I would say. So I don't think that he put them there with the respect of saying, okay, well, transgender male is going to need them. But yeah, you got transgenders females going into the men's bathroom now. And, it's only when their edifice falls off when they pull their pants down does somebody see they got to get it and stick it back on. But, it's what's happening. So you got to just know that those things are happening and they didn't just start to happen. So it could be a possibility of that's the same time gender fluid bathrooms came out. And I think there was one show of attorneys on there and it showed that they had a gender free bathroom where they all would meet in the bathroom with Ally McBeal and whatever her name was. But that show showed that, and that was late 80s, early 80s, really. And that's when they started showing a lot about more gender neutral folks coming into the fold. So I don't think he did it with the knowledge that he would think that men would use it, but he did do it with the knowledge that trans folks were using that bathroom. And so you would never know the females that would be going in there, or excuse me, men.
Maybe Tampon Timmy was using it. I don't know. I'm just joking.
He could definitely use it.
Brother Godspeed, let me ask you a question. Check this headline out and tell me what you make of it.
I had to stop because I had to look. I said, nonstop flights are 50% off.
Give me your off the cuff assessment when you would see something like that. What would you think?
Well, you saw so many of the
man,
hearings.
I don't think I can hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man, no audio, bro. Try go out, come back and try. Let's because I want your opinion on that. So, Sister Aurora, what do you think? What do you think when you see a title like this, and then you hear Tim Walsh talking about disinformation and misinformation, and now you got this headline here with Zuckerberg admitting that he censored people unjustly due to COVID-related information. What is that? How does that resonate?
I don't know if it's more of unjustly, but he did it against the freedom of speech. And because some of it was, again, as they had, as the First Amendment gives you, there is a clause in there that says it's close to the imminent lawless actions cannot be placed on the web. That's when you started seeing people showing how to shoot a nigga from 10 feet, stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, there was some sensitive. And not only that, because it was in the amendments for the right for free speech, and it came at the same time where they say, you're not supposed to incite any lawless actions. You can't distribute any obscene materials. You can't burn draft cards and as an anti-war protest. You can't burn the flag as an anti-war program. These things go way before. These things go back to the 60s. When I was too small to care, but I had parents that always did, so I learned everything very quickly. But these are not things that just happen, and that's one of the things that happens with us is nothing just happens. It happened before, and at the same time, government agencies trying to formulate new commandments. Remember why they had to get rid of the FBI guy? Because remember, he coined COINTELPRO. This is a government agency that said, oh, wow, she bought 7,000 people and we didn't see no advertisement. well, now we got to watch her because this makes it, a little bit too much. There could be something brewing over here, or they're bringing, the same way you see brothers going into the Nation of Islam. Oh, wait a minute, they're able to turn them brothers around. Oh no, we got to watch them. We got to watch the Lions of Judea. We got to watch the 5% Nation. We got to watch all of those because their information that they're giving to them, America would say, hey, that's not, that could be information that can incite, and if anybody could change it, they could change it to an imminent lawless actions. And it could be that that's
Good
not
point.
what we're doing. But
No, good point. Great point. Because that leads me to another question. We got you on now, bro? Godspeed, can we hear you? Oh man. Dag, I wanted you in on this. Well, I'll ask the question anyway, because we're getting ready to tap out because it's 10 o'clock and I don't want to keep the family going too long. We already been on for 2 hours. You on now, bro? Oh no, he went off. Okay. Maybe he's trying to get back on in some capacity.
Yeah.
Let's see. Man, nah, still can't hear you, bro. I don't know what that's about. I do not know what that's about. Are you on your computer or your phone? Are you on your phone? That's what it is. Those devices go in and out, especially when you're trying to do like multiple functions and all of that with them. So
and you can't hold them at the bottom because you lose your sound.
so you brought up a great point, and I thought I'll kind of piggyback. I'll kind of continue on the point that you brought up, and you brought up some of our revolutionary activity for freedom, justice, and equality, liberation. One man's hate speech is another man's or another woman's speech for liberation. Correct?
Mm-hmm.
So isn't it a slippery slope with things like what Tim Walz was talking about when you deal with areas like the United States, who still hasn't dealt with their original sin in a right and exact way? They still haven't made repair or made whole the people that they damaged with the way that they earned their money when they first came here. And sometimes, you have to get a little, you got to get a little fiery with people. The message can't come in a cookie cutter way. Do you think at some juncture that would be excuse for the race soldiers to confront you because you used language that wasn't favorable to the masses? What do you think? Even for objects and issues that are generational issues. Racism and discrimination and classism in the United States is generational as a problem. But if you speak on it in a fiery way to bring maximum attention to it, is that a slippery slope between what they call misinformation, disinformation, and hate speech? What do you guys think? Godspeed, you with us? Oh man, we can't hear you, bro. Can't hear you, bro. I don't know what that's about. If you got like an iPad or something, that might work a little better. I don't even know what to say, bro. That's crazy. But anyway, so just give me a thumbs up, or you could put it in the chat and I'll read it. Is there a slippery slope when you are having a revolutionary movement like so many of the 20th century movements have went, and you got to get a little fiery in order to get a point across? And do you see that at some object point that being interpreted as hate speech if these so-called laws curtailing the First Amendment are allowed to pass and are allowed to continue? What do you brilliant people think in the panel? Do you think this will be the end of protesting as we know it? If anything fiery, if anything passionate can be misinterpreted as hate speech? What do you think?
Anything can be interpreted as hate speech. I
Right.
mean, and it's really because it's who's hearing it and who's saying it. So it's not necessarily that it's hate speech, but anything can be interpreted that way. And so if we go back to where, the Panthers did not sit there and form to destroy, they sat there and was formed to protect and protect communities. And the FBI seeing it as a threat, and what was his name? Oh my God, it just keeps rolling out my head. The head of the FBI back then,
Hoover.
who would just say the words like communist, or when women's movements were growing, they would say, oh, she's gotten with the communists too. And when Angela Davis got out there, oh yeah, she's a commie too. Just using that word alone sat there into masses of us, people that look like us, away from the message that was coming, because they figured the government wouldn't lie. The government wouldn't say this about it if it wasn't true. So, those are radical Black people, and we can't be with radical Black people because what they're saying. And and did they stop to listen? No, a lot of times we don't stop to listen to hear what other people are saying. My parents always tell me, it's like, how are you going to talk about it if you don't know nothing about them? I'm in there, I'm talking to people, I'm meeting people and wanting to hear and allow them to hear and understand it. You get that friend one that you can sit there and say, so is it really true about white boys? Or that friend that you can question, and that you're gonna tell you, you white, he gonna tell you, or is it true about them? And those kind of people that you can share with. But the information, where it comes from and who's receiving it, is the only big change. It's like, y'all will be hearing something different and someone is saying the same thing, but you're more familiar with the person that's over here because they look familiar to you than the person's over here who's saying the same thing, but then you're going to sit there and say, oh, but no, they must be truthful because remember, white is right.
Yeah.
And that's our people moving away from folks that talk, that look like us and say the same thing, but they're going to agree with that person because they have that mentality and have been groomed with that mentality that white is right. So,
Right. Okay. So guess what, people? We are way past overtime. Overtime starts at 9:30, goes to 10 o'clock. We are past 10 o'clock. So we're going to do a part 2 on this on Monday. And maybe Brother Mozzie could join us and a whole lot of other folks so they could chime in and do the very same thing. Because this issue, I think, is very pivotal. You with us, bro? Okay. Well, we getting ready to sign off now anyway, bro. So thanks everybody who watched. Please timestamp the show. Let me know if you have questions for Brother Godspeed, Sister Aurora, myself about some of the information that was given tonight or some of the things that we were building on, because it's great information and we need to widen the conversation. So please do that. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe. Share the show, comment, and turn on all your notifications so every time we have a Real HD show, you could tap in with us and have a higher discussion. Once again, I apologize for not having that link on right. It was about 3 or 4 people that wanted to jump on with, and that's fine. You guys can keep that same energy for Monday. Let's rock out. I'm sure there will be plenty to dissect and talk about on the Real HD show where we have higher discussion. So with that, I'm going to say peace and make sure you walk with power. And we will see you guys on Monday. All right, peace.
Peace.
Y'all love on each other.